I'm Joseph.
I'm Brandy.
And today we're going to talk to you about comb out. So the point of a comb out is you want the hair to look nice and smooth when it's done. A lot of people's big misconception is you just take the rollers out, you give it a light comb, and then you let them go. That is not the case. You don't want any lines in the hair, because sometimes when you put rollers in the hair, you see the lines where all the rollers are. You don't want to see any of those. You want it to be all one consistent piece. You want the volume and body and everything to be proportionate in the hair. And ultimately, you want it to be smooth. With that being said, you do have the occasional people that just want you to take out the rollers or run your fingers through it, things like that. But the odds of that happening are very slim. In those cases, do whatever. But we're here to show you all the ins and outs of how to do a proper comb out. Anything you want to add to comb outs?
Whenever you take out the rollers, make sure you massage the scalp a little bit. It's just like when you have a really tight ponytail, and then you take it out, it kind of tingles for a little bit and you got to massage it. So just massage it out, and the whole part of the appointment is the end result is this nice, smooth, proportionate comb out. That's what they're looking for.
Exactly. So with today's lesson, hopefully you can take away how to do a proper job with it. My suggestion would be to roll your mannequins. Even when you're home, you don't necessarily need a heater. You just need it to dry overnight. Or you can use a blow dryer, whatever you need. It's a mannequin. She's not going to cry. And practice your teasing and practice your combing out. The key is brushing it before, then using your teasing comb. A lot of people just go attacking it right away with the teasing comb, and then it becomes this big knotted hot mess. The key is to take section by section by section by section. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go out on the floor and demo how to do a proper comb out. So good luck. All right, guys, so she just got out of the dryer, and what we're going to do today is we're going to teach you how to properly do a comb out. So there is a special technique to it, so I'm going to show it to you. This is the way that I prefer y'all to comb out. That way there's no breaks, it's super easy, there's no splits, everything like that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move our rollers. So you can go ahead and take some of the rollers out. The key is you don't want to disturb your rollers. So what I mean by that is you just don't want to yank them out because you're going to pull out that curl. What you want to do is you want to slide them out. So you want to go in there and try to keep those curls still intact. So when we get to this side, you'll see it a little better by what I mean. So slide them out like that, so that the rolls are still intact. The reason why is when we go comb it out, what we need is as much body and volume that we can get in there. So if I just rough up my curls and start pulling everything out, so if I pull the curl down and out, it's gonna get rid of that shape. We wanna keep as much of that shape in there as we can. You also don't wanna pull the client's hair. So that's another reason why we don't wanna just go pulling rollers out. You want to be as gentle as you can. Most of the ladies that you're going to be doing here have short hair, but with that being said, there is a woman that does come in who has really, really long hair, and she gets a roller set. So she does it for the same reason. So you want to keep as much as that curl in there as you can. Some ladies also like to leave with their hair looking like this. So what they do is they spray it down and they leave it rolled just like that. And then what they do is they wait, they usually come in on a Friday. So what they're doing is what I call church hair. So they leave their hair just like this until Sunday morning, and then they comb it out themselves. So they have a nice fresh set for church. So the more that you can leave the curl intact, the better it is. You shouldn't have to put crazy amounts of product on here that you can't pull these rollers out. I know a lot of clients like it to kick it on. I would rather do that with hairspray. So I would rather at the end of it spray it down really well, opposed to caking on a lot of setting lotion, things like that, making these rollers really stick to the hair. There's no need. It's gonna come out too crispy. All right, now what I do is I add a little product. So what I'm using is some Silk Infusion, because you still want it to feel and look like hair. You don't want it to be so stiff and dry. A lot of these women are wearing this roller set the whole week. Like they come in once a week to get their hair done. So the more that you can do to it, the better. All right, so now that I have about a dime size, I'm just gonna rub my hands through it. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna run my fingers through this and break up all those lines. Having your hair done in a roller set is like wearing a ponytail in your hair all day. It gets really, really tight, especially using all that tension over directing the hair. So it can become painful to the client, especially depending on how long they're staying under that dryer. So this just relieves a lot of that pain and pressure that they might be feeling from the rollers. Plus, you don't want it to look like lines. You don't want it to see where the rollers are. So the more you can break up those lines before, the better. All right, so now that we broke it up a little bit, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a comb. So I wanna use like a paddle brush or just a regular brush with these like plastic beaded teeth. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna brush out this roller set. Now, a lot of people don't understand this part. They think that the client wants to leave looking like this. They don't. This is not what your finished desired look is. So all the rollers do is gives you height and body. So now you can see it's rolled right. She has all this body. So now we need to make it look like a hairstyle. Nobody wants to leave looking like this. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do is brush it out. A lot of people, like I said, get scared of brushing it out because they think they're gonna get rid of all that body and volume. But if you roll it right on base, over directed towards your mirror or wall, you will have volume for days, no matter how much you brush this, okay? So we're just gonna get our brush, and I'm just brushing straight back. You would brush in the direction of what you rolled it. So if you rolled it that she has a side bang, then you would roll it to the side. This one, we just did a basic roller set and rolled everything going straight back. So therefore, we're just gonna brush everything going straight back. But you see what I mean? No matter how many times I brush this, no matter how much tension I use, she has all that body and all that volume in her hair. So it's not going anywhere. Now, if you brush it and it goes flat or anything like that, you have done something horribly wrong. So you might need to fix that mistake, okay? So I just take a little time to clean out my brush because I'm weird like that. So look at all this body and volume she has. Okay, again, they don't want to leave like this. You might have one or two ladies that do, because like I said, most of these ladies that want to leave at a certain point, like I want to leave after you take out the rollers, I want you to leave after you brush it out, it's because they're doing something to it later, like probably styling it themselves or getting it ready for another day. So it doesn't mean that every roller set's going to be like that, okay? So now what I'm going to do is teach y'all how to comb out. So I'm going to get my clips, because I want to take it a little section at a time. You don't ever want to tease the whole thing at once. If you tease it all at one time, it's going to be a big, hot, knotted mess, and nobody wants it to be like that. Okay, so you're going to take it a subsection at a time. So about that much right there. About 2-3 inches wide. And then what we're gonna do is we're slowly gonna start combing it out with our teasing comb. You can use a teasing comb or a teasing brush. In my personal experience, I like to use a teasing comb because I get more of a smooth style out of it. So this is a teasing comb right here. It has your teeth, but inside it has smaller perforated teeth down here, which are gonna come in handy. And then you have a nice long pick right here to smooth hair out. So I'm gonna teach you how to work this, okay? So if you look at the hair in the back, even though it's nice and brushed out and everything, we have these weird splits in the hair. So that's what teasing is gonna do. It's gonna mend these spots together and make it look more smooth, okay? So it's not to make it big and ratted, it's to make it nice and smooth. So how we do this is you wanna grab a piece over here. So there's our split right here. So you wanna grab a piece of this and a piece of this, okay? And then we're gonna put them together, okay? So what I do is I'm going to comb these two pieces out. Depending on how you combed it, it might be a little tangled. And we're going to smooth it over my hand. And then what I'm going to do is called the 1, 2, 3 push, okay? You want to insert the comb all the way. It has to get to these small teeth into the brush, okay? Those are what do all the teasing and all the ratting. So you press it all the way down, and using pressure, you're going to scoop it all the way to the head. So 1, 2, 3, and then after the third one, you're going to push it as hard as you can towards the head. Push. 1, 2, 3, push. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it go. Using my metal teeth, now I'm going to smooth out my work. I don't want to comb out my work, so you don't want to put your comb in there and start combing out your work like that, because it's going to comb out your teasing. This is just to smooth all those little flyaways. And then we're going to get most of that with hairspray. So you see how there's no more split and it's nice and smooth, okay? Now you see over here, now we have the same problem. So I'm going to grab a little bit of what I just teased and a little bit over here and try to mend that crack again. So again, I'm just going to take a little piece of hair, a little piece of what I already did, comb it out over my hand, make sure all that hair is nice and smooth, that there's no knots or anything. And then I'm going to continue. 1, 2, 3, push. 1, 2, 3, push. And you can do this as many times as you want until you get your desired shape. So some people like their hair higher. Some don't like too much body. Some just want to, like Miss Mary, she doesn't like a lot of teasing. But because of the rollers, we have to comb it a little bit. To get rid of some of those splits. So sometimes you can just do a minimal tease just to get the desired shape that you want. So see, there's our first section all nice and done. So then all we're gonna do is take it to the next section. And you can take your sections as big or as small as you like. There's not a preference, anything like that. You just need to know that the bigger sections that you make, the more that it can get all knotted and tangled. But also the smaller sections you take, you're going to be here all day. So you got to find that like happy medium place. Okay. So you see our first section compared to the second one. Like if we lift this hair up right here, how nice and smooth that is. And then this one's all wild. So we just got to repeat what we did. So we just take 2 pieces of hair. We got to mend that hole. We comb it out over our hand to make sure it's nice and smooth. And then we're going to do it again. We're going to do the 1, 2, 3 push. 1, 2, 3 push. And then we're going to use our big teeth and then smooth it out. Same thing over here. Comb it out. One, 2, 3, push. 1, 2, 3, push. You want it to all marry together. One, 2, 3, push. 1, 2, 3, push. And you honestly have to be a little rough. I'm not saying give your client a concussion by like knocking them out, but you got to put enough in there that you're able to make it a nice uniform shape and get everything nice and smooth and where it needs to go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on and do the rest. You're going to watch me and fast forward. And then we're going to show you the finished product. I mean, I think y'all get it. I'm not going to sit here and say 1, 2, 3, push, 1, 2, 3, push over and over. So I'm going to finish the rest and then I'm going to show you the finished look and what to do, like put hairspray on it and style it and everything. Okay, so enjoy the tunes. Okay, so this is our finished comb out. So this is the desired shape I wanted. We need to make sure that our proportion is even. So I have a mirror right here on my ring light. So what I can do is use my comb and just make sure that everything's proportionate. Smooth everything out where it needs to be smoothed out. Pump things up where they need to be pumped up at. Just look at my whole shape. Cool, a nice little wave going on here. So what I can do now is I'm gonna use the helmet head hairspray. And then this is going to tame down a lot of the flyaways. I want to stay about 4 to 6 inches away from the face. I want to make sure to cover my client's eyes so it doesn't hurt them. You don't want to saturate the hair because a little bit honestly goes a long way. So you don't have to use a half a can on a client, especially with this heavy duty hairspray. Just a fine mist all over. When I'm done, I like to air it with my hand. And then I go back in and do any touch-up detail work, like just smoothing things down, holding things down, just like that. And here's our finished look. So we have a nice volumized comb out, no splits, no holes, nothing like that. This is longer hair, so it's a little more wild, and plus whoever cut this, it's a little crooked, but we're dealing with what we got right now. So, yeah, so there's your comb out. Like I said, the things that you need to keep in remembering is the 1, 2, 3, and then smoothing it out. Make sure you're using all parts of your teasing comb. Make sure you're using your brush. Like if you saw during it, it's okay to brush out before you tease to make it nice and smooth, things like that. Keep it proportionate. Like you don't want this side to be lower and this side to be higher. You don't want it to look like a lumpy mess. There's a difference between lumpy and wavy. So this is wave. I played with the wave in her hair because she does have longer hair. And then you just don't want to make sure there's any holes or anything like that. Your best friend is going to be your mirror. So make sure you use your mirror to always check your work. Your mirror is not there for you to check yourself out or for your client to check themselves out. It's actually a tool. So you can look into the mirror and see any holes. Because sometimes when you look at things straight on, they look perfect. But then when you look in the mirror, you start seeing, oh, there's a hole here. There's a spot missing, things like that. So utilize your mirror. Okay. Well, that's all I have for y'all today. Have a great day. Okay. So we showed y'all now how to do a proper comb out. So what you learned in that video is how to properly smooth it out. Like I told you, the key is to keep it nice and smooth. So after you do all your teasing, you don't want to start brushing things out and making it smooth because that's going to remove all the teasing that you did. So you kind of want to leave the teasing alone and use your big teeth and smooth it out. Your hand is your best friend. You want to smooth the hair over your hand. Your hand is almost like a mold and it's going to give you a nice smooth shape and it's going to have everything bump under. So you just don't want to just attack it and just be like, it looks messy because it will be messy. So keep it smooth, break out all those lines. Like Brandy said before, make sure to properly do a scalp massage to break up all those lines, anything like that. But ultimately, as you can see, the comb out's super easy. It just takes practice. Anything else to take away from it?
Just make sure you remember he did the 1, 2, 3 push method. It really helps to, give that perfect like little arch for the body and the volume. It helps it stay. And just remember to use your mirror as a tool. Always look at it to see if it's proportionate because, you might be looking at the back and think it looks fine, but then in the front, it might be flat here and up here.
Mm-hmm. Going back on what she said and what I said in the video, is your mirror is your best friend. It will tell you anywhere you're off. It will tell you where any holes are. It will show you any splits. Like I said, sometimes looking at something spot on, you see it one way and then you use your mirror and it tells you the other way. The mirror doesn't lie. AKA, I'm handsome AF. But anyways, that's how you do a comb out. Thanks for paying attention. We'll see you next time. Bye.